Hello scrappers and planet lovers, Tin Man here with another video. So I wanted to send out a big happy Earth Day weekend to all my viewers, subscribers, fellow scrappers, and also a big shout out to my students at St. Peter Canisius School in Watford, as well as the students at St. John Fisher in Forest, Ontario. Both schools participated last week in a lot of Earth Day activities, including picking up different garbage and litter around the school and the community, as well as planting flowers and other items. So big shout out to them. I do also want to answer two questions that I got from several of my students. And the first one was, how much scrap material have I been able to divert from the landfill in my years of scrapping? Unfortunately, I could not estimate, or I could just estimate that. I could not give a full amount. But I do actually have the receipts from my scrapyard runs this year alone, so I will just talk about the weights on those. Another question I had was, where do I find most of my material? So as you can see behind me, I have a number of items. I'm going to do a quick talk about all of them, the weights that I got, as well as some common areas. So I'm going to start over here. Most common item that I find is tin or shred. All of my outer frames of microwaves, appliances like dishwashers, stoves, all of those are tin, easy to recognize, magnetic as you can see here. And I do want to also mention that for my weights, I include steel in with my tin loads. Steel is a different category, usually about 2 cents more than tin. And that is usually any type of metal that is thicker than 1/4 inch. So a lot of structural beams, for example. But I don't have a full load of that. I don't find it as often as tin. So I do just throw it all together. Tin right now, I just actually did a run yesterday, which was Saturday. And I got 12 cents a pound in Sarnia. In London, it's about 15 cents. So an excellent price right now for tin. And it does not take a lot to add up weight. So just this year alone, I have brought in 3,811 pounds of tin or shred. So that is a nice weight and score. The second thing I like to bring in is my e-waste. So e-waste is any type of circuit boards I find on my electronics or appliances, as well as the remainder of my CRT TVs or flat screen TVs. Once I take the goodies off my circuit boards, I will take off the copper, I will take off the aluminum heat sinks, which are extrusion or clean aluminum, as well as relay boxes. So those items, I'm going to make a lot more money separating them from my electronic waste. Here, where I take it to, I get 5 cents a pound for the rest of it. So these are just the tail ends. They don't weigh a lot, but 5 cents a pound, better than nothing, and better than going into the landfill. So different electronics you see here. That is my circuit board. It doesn't matter if it is broken off or in pieces, they will still take it at 5 cents a pound. And I have brought in 391 pounds thus far from my circuit boards, as well as several CRT TVs that I have found. So nice item there. You do want to check with different scrap yards as well. Some places, some regions will give you higher value for circuit boards that have gold on them. You can also sell them online, but these ones are all low grade, so I would not pay the money to ship these. I'm not going to make much once I factor in shipping, especially to places like boardsort.com, which is in the United States, and I'm in Canada here, so 5 cents a pound for this. The next thing I factored in was stainless steel. I do find a lot of these tail end pieces of gas hoses. I will remove the outer coating on this, but this is non-magnetic stainless steel. So this is your high-end stainless steel, as well as different types of bowls and pots. This is, as said, non-magnetic. And this currently right now is going for about 77 cents a pound. I do also find a number of non-magnetic barbecues as well, and I just brought a load of those in. There is another category for magnetic stainless steel. It's about 3 cents more than tin. So a lot of things like your appliances, some of your microwaves do have the inner panel, as well as some barbecues have magnetic stainless steel. So you do want to check that. And depending on how much you have, if you want to separate that from tin or just throw it in with your tin. But this is all non-magnetic, and I just actually last week brought a load in, and I had 398 pounds. I did actually a couple of weeks ago find a huge 5-foot long massive barbecue that weighed a substantial amount and was all non-magnetic stainless steel, so an excellent item there for sure. The next thing I wanted to look at was cast iron. I don't have any cast iron here, but I had 67 pounds of it. A lot of your home decor, urns or pots, you can find those in the trash. And I did find 2 very large ones. Unfortunately, they were banged up and they had several chips missing out of them. I would have loved to have actually been able to put them on my porch or resell them. But 67 pounds, they're worth about 25 cents a piece, or a pound, so good weight there for sure. Batteries, I want to jump to batteries here. This is one thing that I cringe at when I see in the garbage. There are different categories of batteries. Your household batteries are your alkaline batteries, as well as your drill powers or any type of appliances or electronic or tools that you have, power tools. These are also in with this mix. And these you do want to check at a scrapyard. In London, Ontario, they will take these free of charge, but they will not give me scrap value for them. They will only give me lead-based batteries, those prices. So another type of battery, lead-based. These are out of your cars, your lawnmowers, boats. I just did a massive teardown of about 10 battery backup systems, and they had all of these lead-based batteries in them. They will take those, but unfortunately in London they will only give me free of charge recycling of those. In Sarnia, Ontario, I will get 5 cents a pound for my alkaline batteries, and I did bring them there. I had 139 pounds of just household batteries, so I was glad to be able to divert those from the landfill as well as the water system. The lead-based battery ones like this, I had 135 pounds of those. So large weight batteries do add up, and something we need to make sure we protect away from the landfill and water system because of the lead and the alkaline inside of those, as well as these are ion batteries, okay, a different one, but again, I did get scrap money for those. Aluminum, I do find a lot of aluminum, but different types. You have cast aluminum, so your old black barbecues, for example. This is a heat plate. I do find a lot of frying pans. So cast aluminum right now is going for about 55 cents a pound, and I had right there, cast aluminum, I had 235 pounds of it, so I had a number of barbecues saved up. It does add up in weight for sure at 56 pounds or 56 cents a pound, so a good payoff there. I did have clean aluminum. A lot of my clean aluminum like this I will find on different types of baking trays. These are out of magnetrons. I had a whole bag of these because I take, number one thing I think I take apart is microwaves, so they always have some nice clean aluminum on the magnetron, as well as some of these beer cans, if you will. I did find these in the scrapping ditch. Beer cans are worth beer can value at the beer store, or you will get pop can value. These are obviously not pop cans, and because these are American, I can't bring them back to the beer store here in Canada. This is clean aluminum though, so I will just throw that into my clean aluminum. Okay, but clean aluminum going for about 40 cents a pound, and I had a big bin of it. I had 123 pounds of it. Vacuum cleaner hoses as well. I have seen a lot of those Swiffer wet jets. The hoses on those are clean aluminum, so it does add up for sure. Even though aluminum is very light, I just store it up, put it in a bucket, and again, since January, 123 pounds of it. Extrusion is your highest form of aluminum. It's any type of aluminum that looks like it's been put through a mold or a press. Your screen frames are extrusion. This is aluminum heat sink out of a computer tower, as well as this one came out of a subwoofer. Look at the size of this one. There are 2 different categories. You have painted extrusion and non-painted, but it's going for about $1.25 a pound for clean and $1.27 a pound for painted. And I had just an extrusion 75 pounds, so a nice weight. And you would think just from a aluminum heat sink from a circuit board, they don't add up. Yes, they do. So extrusion there. Another item that I had is a lot of aluminum siding. I do have a great relationship with one of my partners, On Top Roofing. They are kind enough to call me up, let me have the tail end pieces of the siding and eavesdrops, and I've been able to divert a lot of that away. They know that I bring it in, recycle it properly, and I had their, where is it? Sorry. I had 130 pounds. I do have about 3 bags in here still stored up, so another probably 55 pounds there, but just bring it in 130 pounds. That is worth actually in London, Ontario, about 90 cents a pound, so a good value for that, and definitely better than going into the garbage. Again, another job site. I did talk with someone, happily give me permission to take it. Okay, my money makers here, brass and copper. Here you can see a really nice bucket of brass. Look at that beautiful stuff. A lot of those rings, those came out of magnetrons. I do have different things like this that come off of my copper bearing motors. Okay, and other pieces, you have some hose ends from barbecue nozzles. But brass right now is going for $2.35 a pound. I did bring in a load of it. It too is very heavy. And I had 88 pounds of brass. I still probably have another 50 pounds waiting to go. But again, brass is everywhere and everywhere. Screws, sometimes you do want to check your screws too because they can be brass. And lastly, copper. I have 2 different types. I have copper wire that is Bear Bright or #1 copper, as well as #2 copper. All of this bag here is from tail ends of copper bearing motors, vacuum cleaners. Those motors all have #2 copper in them, as well as any type of copper that is thinner than 16 gauge or has paint on it or glue. And just from my Bear Bright copper wire, I had 210 pounds of it. I did have a couple friends give me their wire from their house. They had a massive renovation, so they were nice enough to give it to me. I've stripped it. So 210 pounds of Bear Bright copper, as well as 98 pounds of #2 copper. So it does add up, and at Bear Bright copper, almost $5 a pound in London, Ontario, Canadian, and $4.40 for #2 copper. A great payoff. Copper continues to be our scrapper's gold. Okay, so I am looking forward to bringing that in for sure. So I had, as I said, 98 pounds from #2. And my total weights just from this sort, I also had aluminum rims that I brought in a couple weeks ago. I had 95 pounds of those. So aluminum rims were a great price. I think I ended up having 95 pounds. I think it paid out $1.35 a pound. So that was great. All in all, just this year alone, it works out to be about 6,090 pounds worth of scrappable material. And I do want to make sure I mention that all of this scrap did come from garbage day pickup or the dumpsters. So scrap that would have been going to the landfill, picked up by the garbage truck. So I am very glad that I was able to take that. Scrapper's life. Unfortunately, there are times where you do have to unload. I was very, or my wife was very relieved, as well as I was, that we did take some of it out of here, moved it, so did open up some space, so that's good. But great questions from my 2 students. You know, getting into scrapping, I've had a lot of my viewers, new scrappers, get into it because they've seen the importance of environmental impact as well as some monetary value to it. So great questions. Again, happy Earth Day to all. Look forward to growing as a channel and as a community. Look forward to answering any questions that people have down below. Please comment down below again, like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Tin Man out.